A very good afternoon. You're watching the midday news on Rajya Sabha television. I'm Ashwarya Kapoor. All the developing news stories at the top of one coming up ahead. Let us start with the headlines. Stage set for third phase of Lok Sabha polls. 116 seats across 13 states and 2 union territories to vote tomorrow. Voters to seal electoral fates of Amit Shah, Rahul Gandhi, Mulayam Singh Yadav, Jaya Prada and Abhijit Mukherjee. Third phase polling for 42 seats of Odisha Assembly also tomorrow. Nominations begin for 7th and final phase of general elections. 59 seats across 7 states, 1 union territory to vote on 19th of May. Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the fray along with stalwarts Ravi Shankar Prasad, Hardeep Singh Puri, Ram Kripal Yadav, Shatrughan Sinha, Meera Kumar. Prime Minister Modi addresses poll rally in Maharashtra's Dindori, says the ground slipping from beneath opposition's feet after first 2 phases. To hold another rally in Nandarbar in the state, will also campaign in Udaipur and Jodhpur in Rajasthan. Congress ends talk of alliance with Aam Aadmi Party, releases list of 6 candidates for Delhi. Sheila Dikshit contesting from Northeast Delhi, Ajay Makan from New Delhi. BJP candidate from Chandni Chowk, Harshvardhan files nomination today. And 5 Indians among 290 killed in serial blasts in Colombo. Bombs ripped through 3 churches during Easter services. 4 hotels housing complex also targeted. Prime Minister Modi joins world leaders in condemning the attacks. Let us start the bulletin with all the election-related news. Stage is set for the third phase of polling at 116 seats spread across 15 states and union territories on 23rd of April, that is tomorrow. Single-phase elections will take place for all the 26 seats in Gujarat, all 20 seats in Kerala, 2 seats in Goa, 1 seat each in Dadar and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu. 14 seats each of Maharashtra, Karnataka, 10 seats in Uttar Pradesh, 7 seats in Chhattisgarh, 6 seats in Odisha, 5 seats each in West Bengal and Bihar, 4 seats in Assam, 1 seat in Jammu and Kashmir will go to polls in this phase. Tripura East Lok Sabha constituency will also vote in the 4th phase. The Lok Sabha seat was slated to go to polls in the 2nd phase, but voting here was postponed due to law and order situation here. And many prominent names are in the fray in the 3rd phase. All eyes are on BJP chief Amit Shah contesting from Gandhinagar in Gujarat, Congress President Rahul Gandhi from Wayanad, Sambit Patra from Puri Lok Sabha seat in Odisha, Jaya Prada, BJP candidate from Rampur, BJP's Varun Gandhi from Pilibhit, Congress's Abhijit Mukherjee from Jangipur Lok Sabha seat in West Bengal, and SP's Mulayam Singh Yadav from Manpuri. And the 3rd phase polling for 42 seats of Odisha Assembly will also take place tomorrow. All right, Akhilesh Sumana, colleague, is joining us live from Madhepura in Bihar for more on the election that is going to take place tomorrow. Akhilesh, 5 of the 40 Lok Sabha seats in Bihar are going to polls in the 3rd phase. Of course, Madhepura, Supaul, Jhanjharpur and Khagaria and Araria are voting tomorrow. Tell us about the characteristic of the constituencies here in Bihar that are going to polls tomorrow. What are their key issues?
These are the seats which are considered to be Yadav land of Bihar. And, one of the major attraction point of this place where I am standing right at this moment is Madhepura. And Madhepura, that it is the place of BP Mandal, who has chaired the Mandal Commission for Reservation for OBCs. So this place is, very famous because of this. There is a height of awareness among the OBCs here in this whole area. And this whole area is considered to be, the bastion of even Lalu Prasad Yadav. But given the fact that Sharad Yadav is the candidate from RJD seat and RJD ticket, and Sharad Yadav makes this place very important because earlier he was with JDU and he left JDU accusing Nitish Kumar of joining hands with BJP without consultation process in the party. So Nitish Kumar also takes this seat very prestigious, and Nitish Kumar was camping here for last 3 days. Yesterday he left Madhepura. Even Tejasvi Yadav was also camping in Madhepura, giving importance to this lone seat. But that this is not the lone seat that is very important. Important is also that Pappu Yadav, who was earlier had won the seat with RJD ticket, is now fighting as independent. So there are fears in some RJD camps that he might cut some votes from the coffers of RJD, and that may impact positively for JDU. But it is not till last moment people are saying that we assess the situation till last moment and accordingly we will vote. But also interesting is Supaul seat, which is a Congress seat, and wife of Pappu Yadav is fighting there. So one person is fighting against Mahagathbandhan, that is Pappu Yadav. His wife is fighting with Mahagathbandhan, that is Ranjit Ranjan. So this becomes a very peculiar combination.
Yes.
And Mahagathbandhan is in very peculiar situation how to connect, because these are just the adjoining constituency.
Yes.
Other than that, that there are 3 seats among the 5 that is still, that was with RJD, and 2 seats, one with BJP and another with LJP. And BJP gave this seat that is called Jhanjharpur to JDU this point of time. So there is a fear among JDU camps also that whether BJP workers will cooperate the way they were cooperating, because it was the winning seat of BJP. So this all combinations, that internal conflict among the parties, and also the internal conflict inside
Indeed.
the Gathbandhan, and also because of the caste consolidation, and there is a possibility of a split in the caste consolidation. So this makes this seat very important, and this phase
Indeed, a very interesting contest on the cards tomorrow in Bihar as well. Of course, you talked about the Madhepura seat, Akhilesh. Of course, it has become a battle of prestige really for Nitish Kumar. Thank you so much for all those updates there from Madhepura in Bihar. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, campaigning is in full swing for the fourth phase of the Lok Sabha elections. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed a poll rally in Dindori in Maharashtra, and targeting the opposition parties, PM Modi said that the ground is slipping beneath their feet after first 2 phases. He said that India has gained an important place in the world. PM Modi campaigned for the BJP candidate from Dindori, which is one of the 3 Lok Sabha seats in Nashik.
आपने देखा होगा, मैंने तो देश की सुरक्षा, वंशवाद, भ्रष्टाचार, उन बातों को लेता हूं और दूसरी तरफ विकास की चर्चा करता हूं। लेकिन कुछ लोगों को जैसे ही मैं वंशवाद बोलता हूं, भ्रष्टाचार बोलता हूं, देश की सुरक्षा की बात करता हूं, तो मैं बोलता यहां हूं और उनको बिजली का करंट वहां लगता है, और फिर करंट लगता है तो कैसा मुंह से कुछ न कुछ निकलता है, ऐसा उनके मुंह से भी गाली गलौज। ये दौर चुनाव के पहले 2 चरण के बाद तो ये जरा और तेज हो गया है।
And later in the day, Prime Minister Modi will hold a public rally in Nandarbar seeking votes for party candidate, Minister of State for Defence, Subhash Ram Rao Bhamre. PM Modi will also address rallies in the support of BJP candidates in Udaipur and Jodhpur in Rajasthan. And BJP President Amit Shah held a press conference in Kolkata today and accused Mamata Banerjee's government of corruption in West Bengal. He also said that a citizenship amendment bill will come first. All refugees will be given citizenship. After that, NRC will be made.
बंगाल की संस्कृति के साथ तुष्टीकरण की वोट बैंक ने, एपीसमेंट की वोट बैंक की पॉलिटिक्स ने बंगाल की संस्कृति को दबाने का, तहस नहस करने का, नष्ट करने का काम किया है। पुलिस और ब्यूरोक्रेसी ने डेमोक्रेसी के अंदर अपना रोल छोड़कर पॉलिटिशियन का रोल ले लिया है, राजनेताओं का रोल लिया। राजनेता मौन है, ब्यूरोक्रेसी और पुलिस ही तंत्र को चला रही है। बाबूशाही ये बंगाल के लोकतंत्र को हड़प कर गई है। नारदा, शारदा, सिंडिकेट राज, इसने बंगाल के अंदर एक भ्रष्टाचार का भयंकर माहौल खड़ा किया है और बंगाल की जनता ये भ्रष्टाचार के माहौल से त्रस्त है। और जिस प्रकार से हिंसा ने यहां अपनी जगह बनाई है, इसमें लोकतंत्र भी बहुत आहत हुआ है।
And Congress President Rahul Gandhi addressed party workers at Barabanki in Uttar Pradesh today. He said that his party will simplify GST and there would be only one form to fill the taxes. Let's take a listen.
एक टैक्स होगा, कम से कम टैक्स होगा, अलग अलग फॉर्म भरने की जरूरत नहीं होगी। मगर दूसरी बात युवाओं को कहना चाहता हूं, मैं आपको इस स्टेज से 2 करोड़ की बात नहीं करूंगा। मैं यहां आपसे झूठ बोलने नहीं आया हूं, 15 लाख नहीं कहूंगा, 3,60,000 कहूंगा। मगर मैं आपको 2-3 गारंटी दे सकता हूं। एक गारंटी, 22 लाख सरकारी नौकरियां खाली हैं। 1 साल के अंदर कांग्रेस पार्टी 22 लाख सरकारी नौकरी भर के आपको दिलवा देगी। 10 लाख युवाओं को पंचायतों में रोजगार दिया जा सकता है। 10 लाख युवाओं को कांग्रेस पार्टी पंचायतों में रोजगार दे देगी।
And the Congress put an end to speculations of party's possible alliance with the Aam Aadmi Party, announcing the names of 6 candidates for Delhi Lok Sabha seats. The party has fielded former Delhi Chief Minister Sheila Dikshit from Northeast Delhi and party's Delhi Chief Ajay Makan from New Delhi, while JP Agarwal will be contesting from Chandni Chowk. The announcement of candidates came after talks of alliance between Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress failed. This as the Congress wanted a tie-up only in Delhi, while the Aam Aadmi Party wanted the alliance to be forged in Haryana as well. And Union Science and Technology Minister and BJP candidate from Chandni Chowk in Delhi, Dr. Harshvardhan, will file his nomination in a short while from now. He held a road show ahead of filing his nomination. And speaking to Rajya Sabha television correspondent Panchanan Mishra exclusively, Harshvardhan expressed confidence that the BJP will form the government at the centre.
डॉक्टर हर्षवर्धन को भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने चांदनी चौक से फिर से एक बार लोकसभा का उम्मीदवार बनाया है। उनसे बात करते हैं। डॉक्टर साहब, ये बताइए, एक बार फिर से पार्टी ने आप पर भरोसा जताया है, आप तो कॉन्फिडेंट है?
क्षेत्र की जनता, देश की जनता जान गई है कि नरेंद्र मोदी जी को भी जान गई है, हर्षवर्धन को तो जानती ही है, नरेंद्र मोदी को ऐसे प्राइम मिनिस्टर भी जान गई है। लोगों को समझ में आ गया कि उनको नरेंद्र मोदी चाहिए दोबारा प्रधानमंत्री के रूप में। उन्हीं नरेंद्र मोदी के नेतृत्व में न्यू इंडिया भी आएगा, उनके नेतृत्व में विश्व गुरु भारत भी आएगा।
सर, यानी कि हाईलाइट का जो पॉइंट है, प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी का कामकाज तो है ही।
प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी का काम, उनकी गरीबों के लिए, मजदूरों के लिए, किसानों के लिए कल्याणकारी योजनाएं, उनकी हर योजना के करोड़ों लाभार्थी, उनका राष्ट्रवाद, उनका आतंकवाद के खिलाफ जो एक फर्म स्टैंड है, उनका सारे दुनिया के अंदर भारत का नाम रोशन करना, उनके द्वारा दर्जनों अंतर्राष्ट्रीय अवार्ड लेना, ये लोगों को दिखाई दे रहा है। मुद्दा है ये।
सर, 2014 में तो आपने देखा है बहुत बड़ी लहर थी। 2019 में आपका क्या असेसमेंट, आपका क्या?
उससे भी बड़ी सफलता मिलेगी। अप्रत्याशित 2014 का भी रिकॉर्ड 19 में आपको टूटता हुआ मिलेगा।
एक आखिरी सवाल सर, पहले कांग्रेस और आम आदमी पार्टी गठबंधन हो रहा था, फिर नहीं हुआ, इससे पार्टी को क्या लगता है?
हमारे लिए हो रहा है, नहीं हो रहा है, होगा नहीं होगा, ये हमारे लिए इश्यू ही नहीं है। मैंने तो 1 महीना पहले औपचारिक बयान देके कहा था कि दोनों का गठबंधन हो जाएगा तो मैं सबसे ज्यादा खुश होऊंगा, क्योंकि दोनों को मिलकर हराने में जो मजा आएगा वो किसी चीज में नहीं आएगा।
7 सीटें जीती थी 2014 में।
बिल्कुल जीतेंगे, बिल्कुल जीतेंगे, एकदम विश्वास के साथ कहते हैं, बिल्कुल जीतेंगे।
ये थे डॉक्टर हर्षवर्धन जो विश्वास के साथ कह रहे हैं कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी 7 सीटें जीतेगी और विश्वास से भरे हुए नजर आ रहे हैं। प्रशांता के साथ पंचानन मिश्रा, राज्यसभा टीवी।
And BJP candidate from Northeast Delhi, Manoj Tiwari, will also file his nomination shortly. BJP State Unit President Manoj Tiwari held a roadshow on his way to filing of nomination in the national capital. He will face former Chief Minister and Congress candidate Sheila Dikshit. BJP released a list of 5 candidates for Delhi on Sunday, re-nominating 4 of its sitting MPs. Parvesh Verma will contest from West Delhi and Ramesh Biduri from South Delhi. All right, Panchanan Mishra, our colleague, is joining us live from the national capital. Panchanan, of course, the things have now become very, very clear as far as the 7 Lok Sabha seats of Delhi are concerned. There is no tie-up with the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party as Congress released its list of 6 candidates for the elections. How do you look at this new list that has been released by the Congress?
Aishwarya, you are right that after many hiccups and ups and downs, there is now finally no alliance with the Congress and between the Congress and Aam Aadmi Party. And now it's clear that there will be a triangular fight in many of the seats, all the 7 seats. In fact, we are standing right now here in Alipur, where Dr. Harshvardhan, who is a BJP candidate, BJP has nominated him again from Chandni Chowk for this 2019 election. He is here to file his nomination papers. This is a SDM court in Alipur. As you mentioned that BJP has released a list of 4 candidates and it has retained all its 4 MPs in 2014 who won the election, and they're again going for contest in 2019 also. And this 3 candidate party will release soon, and we are learning that as in New Delhi seat there was a Meenakshi Lekhi who was MP. The ticket may be changed. However, officially it will come later. But 3 seats are still remaining from the BJP side, but Congress has released seats for 6 candidates. And it's very important contest here in Chandni Chowk because JP Agrawal from Congress, Pankaj Gupta from Aam Aadmi Party, and from BJP, Harshvardhan will be contesting in this seat. And ex-Chief Minister of Delhi, Sheila Dikshit, will also be fighting against Manoj Tiwari, who is a BJP president, Delhi BJP president, and also candidate from Northeast Delhi. So many interesting fights here for the 7 seats. And as we know that in 2014, all the 7 seats was won by BJP, and in 2009, all the 7 seats were won by UPA, or it means Congress. So it's very important how the Delhi will vote, and as we have learned that we have heard that Harshvardhan is confident that BJP is going to do well, and the main factor will be the face of Narendra Modi.
Absolutely, that is also going to be one of the issue. But speaking about the Congress list today that has been released, Panchanan, of course, when we look at the list, we realize that Kapil Sibbal's name has not been named from Chandni Chowk. He has been fighting this seat since 2004, and in fact, he was very confidently earlier saying that irrespective of an alliance between Aam Aadmi Party and Congress, he will definitely contest from this seat. Interestingly, his name is not here.
There are many saying regarding this thing because Kapil Sibbal was very prominent candidate here in last 2014 also and 2009 also. But this time what we have learned from Congress sources that he was not willing to contest from this seat also. But it's a source-based information, and party is appropriate forum to confirm all these. But JP Agrawal, who is a Congress veteran, also is now going to contest. But as we talk about equation in this Chandni Chowk seat, so the personality of Dr. Harshvardhan and the central minister, as he is a central minister also, is definitely is looking like that he has got an edge in this, particularly in this Chandni Chowk Lok Sabha seat.
Right.
But as I mentioned that ex-Prime Minister of Delhi, ex-Chief Minister of Delhi, Sheila Dikshit, who got the ticket from this East Delhi, who will contest again Manoj Tiwari. It may be
Yes.
a very interesting contest to see, and we have to see that how the Aam Aadmi Party factor, how the fact that the fight
Yes.
maybe get triangular at some seats or not. It
All
may be
right.
interesting to see how now it's a clear cut that BJP, Congress, and Aam Aadmi Party is a main contestant here.
Absolutely. So triangular fight expected in most of the Delhi 7 seats that are going to polls. Thank you, Panchanan, for all those updates there from the national capital. Meanwhile, notification for the 7th and the last phase of the Lok Sabha elections begins from today. Voting in 13 seats each of Uttar Pradesh and Punjab, 9 of West Bengal, 8 seats each of Bihar and Madhya Pradesh, 4 of Himachal Pradesh, 3 seats of Jharkhand will be held in this last phase, and 1 seat in the Union Territory of Chandigarh will also go to polls in this phase. And as many as 59 seats covering 7 states and 1 union territory, that is Chandigarh, will go to polls in this phase. And nominations can be filed from today till 29th of April, and the scrutiny of nominations will be held on 30th of April, and the last date for the withdrawal of candidature is 2nd of May. Campaigning will end on 17th of May, and of course polling will be held on 19th of May. Those were all the election-related news. Let's get to some other news now. Congress President Rahul Gandhi on Monday regretted his remarks on the Supreme Court's ruling on the Rafale case. In an affidavit filed in the Supreme Court, Rahul Gandhi accepted making the comments in the heat of political campaigning that he said may have been misused by his opponents. He asserted that the court has never said those words. The Apex Court had on 15th of April directed Rahul Gandhi to give his explanation by 22nd of April, that is today, on a petition filed by BJP MP Meenakshi Lekhi, who had sought criminal contempt against the Congress president. A bench headed by Chief Justice Ranjan Gogoi made it clear that Rahul Gandhi's remarks made in the media on the Rafale verdict were incorrectly attributed to the Apex Court. 5 Indians are among those who died in the serial blast in Colombo that ripped through 3 churches during Easter services, 4 luxury hotels and a housing complex. Now, close to 290 people died in the blast and around 500 others were injured. The serial blasts, 2 of them conducted by suicide bombers, started on Sunday morning. The churches targeted included St. Anthony's Church in Colombo, St. Sebastian's Church in the western coastal town of Negombo, and Zion Church in the eastern town of Battibalda. And the 3 5-star hotels were also hit. And when a police team entered a house in the Colombo north suburb of Orugudawata to conduct a search here, a suicide bomber blew himself up. 3 policemen died in the blast, which was the 8th. Now, Sri Lankan Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe described the bomb attacks as cowardly, calling on the country to remain united and strong. He also visited a damaged church on Sunday evening. The Lankan government announced a curfew yesterday and also shut down social media. The curfew was lifted this morning at 6 a.m. Though no group has accepted responsibility for the blast, the police have arrested more than 20 people. Sunday's attacks are the deadliest seen in Sri Lanka since the end of the country's civil war. In 2009, the civil war ended with the defeat of the Tamil Tigers, who had fought for 26 years for an independent homeland for the minority ethnic Tamils in the country. And India has expressed a solidarity with Sri Lanka after the deadly Easter blasts. Condemning the attacks, President Ramnath Kovind tweeted, "We stand in complete solidarity with Sri Lanka." The Vice President, Venkaiah Naidu, also tweeted his thoughts and prayers, hoping for a speedy recovery for all the injured people. On Sunday, PM Modi tweeted, "Strongly condemn the horrific blasts in Sri Lanka. There is no place for such barbarism in our region. India stands in solidarity with the people of Sri Lanka. My thoughts are with the bereaved families and prayers with the injured." PM Modi also spoke to the Sri Lankan President and the Prime Minister to condole the deaths and termed the attacks as cold-blooded and pre-planned barbaric acts. Thereafter, at a rally in Goa, PM Modi also condemned the blasts, reiterating that India was ready to help Sri Lanka in whatever way possible. Meanwhile, security across churches in India have also been beefed up. And External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj also held a conversation with her Sri Lankan counterpart. In a series of tweets, Sushma Swaraj said that she had conveyed to the Foreign Minister of Sri Lanka that India was ready to provide all humanitarian assistance, and in case required, we are ready to also dispatch our medical teams. And she also tweeted helpline numbers for the Indians in distress in Sri Lanka to contact the Indian High Commission in Colombo. She said, "We will provide you all assistance." And with that, we wrap up this edition of Midday News. Thanks so much for your time.